Despite what everyone says, Mark Zuckerberg is not a programming genius or prodigy. Compared to his peers, he may be intermediate at best. He still has trouble explaining the hundreds of thousands of source code he had supposedly written in such a short period of time while in school. Michael McKibben from Leader Technologies explains that Facebook and other large-scale social networking platforms actually all run on a source code that his company created. Out of all the people who have claimed that Facebook ripped off their idea, Michael McKibben came the closest to winning in court. The lawsuit explains that Facebook had infringed upon Leader Technologies' patents, but the patents were invalid due to some odd, obscure law. McKibben claims he had multiple patents stolen by his patent attorney named Professor James P. Chandler, who was a national security advisor and top White House attorney. Chandler was supposed to help McKibben launch their first platform at Harvard, but instead, Chandler gave the patent to his client, IBM's Eclipse. IBM's Eclipse is actually just a group of criminal judges, lawyers, bankers, and spies that work with complete disregard for the law. At the time, Eclipse was working with DARPA, who was working on LifeLog, aka the cancelled government program that was designed to spy on everyone. Which brings us back to the question, how did booster seeding Mark Zuckerberg get involved in all of this? McKibben believes that IBM Eclipse recruited Zuckerberg to be the face of the operation and to stall anyone else at Harvard who had the idea of creating a social media platform until McKibben's source code was debugged and ready to be stolen. Mark Zuckerberg just so happened to also be a classmate of Michael McKibben's son. On November 28, 2003, Leader Technologies programmer finished the source code and emailed it to McKibben's son. That very same night, Mark Zuckerberg wrote in his online diary, "Let the hacking begin," and famously hacked Harvard's server. This is how McKibben believes Zuckerberg obtained the code, and months later, Facebook was launched. Allegedly, this source code was distributed amongst other social media platforms so that government intelligence agencies could have access to all of the information from these sites through a backdoor key. This actually isn't even a conspiracy theory. Edward Snowden proved this through a PowerPoint presentation on a surveillance program called PRISM. Companies participating in the PRISM program include Microsoft, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Skype, AOL, Apple, Paltalk. What? Facebook and Google in particular have received hundreds of millions in government subsidies. Obama himself even said Facebook and Google would not exist without government funding. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange even said that Facebook is the most appalling spy invention ever made. After all, if we didn't have to worry about the US government spying on us, then why would Mark Zuckerberg put tape over his own computer? The sad part is that even if you don't have Facebook or you want to get rid of yours, you can't. Facebook has profiles created and cataloged for people who aren't even on the site, with data collected